All right, how is it going, everybody? Please let me know if you can hear me. This is a new setup that I am in a new apartment, but I should not be switching Airbnbs or apartments anytime soon. I did get a longer term lease this time around, so I'm going to be settling down here in Mexico. I've been here for about a month now, as you may have known if you watched the last live. As always, be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this video out to as many people as possible. And please be sure to say who you are, where you're from, what your dropshipping experience is. I didn't really advertise this live at all, even less than the last live that I did. So whoever comes on, comes on. And whoever wants to ask their questions will probably have a more one-on-one live than one where I advertise it and hundreds of people are actually online. So like I said, say who you are, where you're from, what your experience is. And before we get into it, we did decide to extend, because I did not even talk about it at all on Instagram, our actual Valentine's Day sale for all of our trainings down below. It's in the description. It's 40% off every single course, eBay, Facebook, eBay wholesale, and Amazon dropshipping. So if you're interested, check that out down below. Today will be the last day. I believe it ends at midnight. So get in while you can if you are interested. Also, one thing I do want to talk about is people asking me, do you still drop ship on eBay, Tom? You've been only talking about Facebook Marketplace recently. Do you still drop ship on eBay? And the answer is yes, I still drop ship on eBay. There's no reason not to. And there's tons of people that are still actually killing it with it, including myself. We just had a student today tell me that he hit 100,000. It got posted on Instagram. I think it was 104 or 109,000. Dollars in sales in the last 30 days. It was like 190 in the last 90 days. And he said that was all at 13% profit margin on eBay. So not as high as the Facebook Marketplace, but again, still, it is a pretty good chunk of change that you probably wouldn't complain about having in your bank account every single month. And also the fact that, that person also said that they're running 20 different stores. About half of them, they said, were stealth accounts. So there's no reason to not drop ship on eBay if you want to get into it, and vice versa. If you're on eBay and you want to get into Facebook Marketplace, there is no reason not to do that as well. So let's get into the questions while I'm at it. Brandon Sky, or Braden, sorry about that, said, are we allowed to ask questions? Yes, you are allowed to ask questions. All right, so William Kloss retracted the message. Now it's Braden Sky's question. I got tax exemption in most states, around 30, but a decent amount of them want me to file $0 returns monthly. Is there any way to automate that? TaxJar doesn't do that many auto files. Then the question says, should I just train a VA to do that? Is there a simple way to do that I can find? Try TaxJar, Avalara, and Sovos. I've never even heard of that one. All want thousands of dollars to file for every state. There's no way that's true. They want thousands of dollars to file. Oh, maybe I don't know. I've trained a VA to do that. And by that, I mean my VA is my sister. She actually does do that for me. It's really not that hard. You just the majority is, like you said, you're going to be filing 0. And at that point in time, it's really you can do each state legitimately in 3-4 minutes, as long as you know what you're doing. You've done it enough times. For a while, I was doing it myself, and then it got to the point where I did train my sister, I think over a year ago. And oh yeah, I forgot I can bring up the question. So yeah, here's your question. And at that point in time, I just made a Google Drive folder with all the different states and how to do it and how to read TaxJar. I do use TaxJar. And the majority of them, like you said, you're going to be filing $0. And, again, I'm not a CPA. That's what I do. That's as far as we're going to go explaining that aspect of the business, because I do not like talking tax stuff on YouTube, because it ends up being that the whole live either turns into tax questions, or, people just keep pressing me when I'm not even legally allowed to be giving you tax related advice. So that's where I'm going to leave you with that. Hopefully that answered your question. And as always, we got 37 people on here. Ask your questions as you go, because I do not have a topic for this live today. I do plan on just doing random lives like this every single Friday at 7 p.m. now. I have a stable place that I'm staying, stable place with stable internet, and a nice wall that I can't fully get in the screen behind me, but I'm using a webcam right now. So William Kloss says, what were the Facebook Marketplace metrics you mentioned in the previous YouTube, and how do you use them? I don't remember what I mentioned in the previous YouTube video, let's be honest. I talked for an hour straight. But the metrics, there's metrics that you can see for all of your listing views. You can see that on your computer, but they don't really show very much. On your cell phone, you may have it or you may not have it, where they show you a little bit more in depth, like your cancellation rate and other things like that. You want to keep your cancellation rate down. I forget what the percentage is. I believe it's below 1%. And at that point in time, like, you just want to make sure you're not canceling orders. Again, across all different accounts, you're going to have different levels of what metrics you can see. With Facebook Marketplace at the moment, it's been all over the place. I think I fully expect it to be all over the place for the near future. But, as things get more and more professional on Facebook Marketplace, it should be, more streamlined and just easier to understand what they want from you. But I don't remember what I said last live. If you want to try to refresh my memory, but again, I'm not sure. I don't really remember. So we got Hillary in here. How's it going? What is the best way to scale my dropshipping business? I have VAs. So I think you answer your own question. It's probably VAs. But it really, that's probably one of the most broad questions you can ask. It's really about, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're at right now or anything about your current business. But all I can say is that if you have VAs, it's really all about just getting more items up, or just finding other ways to make your items sell, whether that's, listing different actual suppliers, not using the same ones that everybody else is using, going about listing them in different ways, whether that's variations, multi-packs, bundles, something like that, or just getting more items up in general, being more price competitive, making sure that every listing is fully optimized, and making sure that you're taking care of the listings that you're actually, and also you didn't even mention what platform. So again, it's a pretty broad question, but as long as you're getting enough items up and the items are actually hot selling items, and from there, you're getting into other suppliers or diversifying yourself or always trying to find a way to make your business better, then I don't see any reason why it wouldn't scale, unless your eBay store was flagged or, you were banned or something like that. You're always going to sell more if you list more, and if you list better items, you can see even with wholesale dropshipping people on eBay, the people that are selling the same items, and then one person has the same item and it's a variation listing, and just how many more sales that variation listing has, because maybe that person didn't want that item in gray, but they wanted it in orange or brown, those little things like that really do, add a lot to your listing, or volume discounts, if we're talking eBay here, or anything like that, that really does add a lot to your listing, even though people tend to overlook it. And I think in the beginning, you shouldn't be thinking about that stuff, but when you want to take your store to the next level, that's really what you should be focusing on. So we got Mac Ga here, says, I list 15 to 20 items a day and I get views but no sales. Could it be because I don't have the shipping option? The shipping option will definitely play a role in making more sales compared to not more sales. I'm assuming you're talking Facebook Marketplace at this point in time. Also, when you're asking a question, please specify what platform you're talking about, because we got a lot of platforms that we cover now. I'm assuming most questions are Facebook Marketplace, let's be honest, but just for the sake of being concise here, so I don't have to guess or maybe give you an explanation that just doesn't even pertain to what you're talking about. So yeah, that's probably the main reason. But again, if you're listing 15 to 20 items a day, you should be making sales, let's be honest. But it really might be the items that you're listing. I don't know if you have the training or not, or just you're making sure you're listing quality items that people actually want to buy. You can't just list anything. I mean, you can, it might just prove to be useless to do so, or futile of an attempt, but you want to be listing items that are proven to sell, have prior sales history. And eventually, if you're in the United States, work towards trying to get the shipping option, because it does add a whole nother level to the game. But we do have students that are in other countries that are making decent profits every single month without the shipping option. And it's really all about putting in more work and, really diversifying yourself. Like I said, if you're just trying to list these same exact items as everybody else, what is the difference in why somebody would pick your item over somebody else's? The only real difference would be price. And that's pretty much it. So you want to make sure that you're diversifying yourself so that you're not cutting down on margins and everything like that. And I think my glasses are fogging up. So the next question here is Wheelin' It says, I'm new to drop shipping and you're from Utah. Jason, my business partner, for those of you watching that do know Jason, just moved to Utah. He is now 100% Mormon. And actually the place that he looks is really cool. He's not Mormon either. I was just kidding. But yeah, so if you're new, just be sure to watch as many videos as possible if you're looking to actually really take this seriously. And again, it's not just a side hobby thing that you do for fun. If you want to actually take this seriously and take it to the next level, you need to actually put in the work and care about your business and not just treat it as if it is a hobby. So we got Albert in here. How's it going, Albert? I forgot that I told you I wanted you on a live, but I didn't bring you on the live. So hopefully you're ready to go on a live at some point. It says, hi, Tom. Sound is all good. Thank you. What are good ways to improve business with VAs through all selling platforms? Facebook, eBay, Etsy, eBay. What do you mean by improve business with VAs? What are some lifestyle? Okay, so that was one. I mean, if you're talking about like how to make sure that your VAs are very well, versed across all platforms, one thing I would say is you need like a steady or a center form of communication with them. Most people use Slack. If you're not using Slack, I think you're like highly messing up. It seems to be like the industry standard. I've never heard of anybody else using a different form of messaging app, maybe like Skype or something, but Slack is one thing. And you want to be at that point using some form of just a project management tool or like a daily task tracking tool. And just, make sure that all of your VAs, if they're working on something similar together, that they know who each other are. Because if they have to go in between you, like this is wrong, tell this person, and they're telling you to go tell somebody else, like that's such a pain. Like eventually, that might happen, but like literally bring them on a call and then just like introduce them to each other and then just be like, hey, this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. Like if you guys need each other, message each other. And a lot of times they'll do it on their own anyways. But, you don't want to be the person that's the middleman for conversation, let's be honest. And it ends up wasting a lot of time, taking extra time to get to the point and everything like that, where it's really just not worthwhile in the long run. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. But also try to have one manager for like a certain amount of set of just like stores. Maybe you want an overarching one, or you want one for like just eBay and Amazon or something like that. It really depends on how you want to run your business, but you want to make sure that there's somebody that's overseeing them, checking reports and making sure that everybody's getting their tasks done on the daily. Because, you might think that you can do it every single day, and then you'll get down to it and you'll realize it's terrible to do every single day. And then, you might start slacking on it, and maybe your workers are slacking and you're like, oh, I'll check it later. And you really just want to always be on top of everything like that. So we got Noah in here. How is it going? Nice to see you on the live. Thank you for showing up. You must have post notifications on or something, because you're on like all of the lives, Noah. I don't know. You definitely must have it on. But thank you for showing up. I hope you're doing well. Hope it's not too cold where you are, but it's not where I am. So we got another Noah here. Says, what's up, everybody? Noah from SoCal here, working on Facebook Marketplace. There you go. I hope you're seeing success with it. Let me know down below. As long as you put in the work, you have the shipping option, you should be good. I'm sweating a lot already. I just went for a walk and it's hot and I'm sweating. I'm going to turn the AC on a bit. So we got Albert again, says, what are some lifestyle changes you recommend to go forward on business? So, I mean, one thing that I've been trying to do as much as possible, although a lot of my business is related to being on like social media, is limit your social media. Just limit your cell phone. Like, I don't know how your iPhone's set up or how mine's set up. I'm not like too tech savvy, but if I swipe all the way to like the left or whatever it is, it shows you like what my screen time is for the day. And once I started seeing that like popping up more frequently, like it was very easy to find before you had to like go into your apps or something and chase it down. When you see your screen time for the day and you see like 7 hours, like you can't feel good about yourself after that. And honestly, I'm not saying that if you have 7 hours, you're a terrible human being, because like that happens to me decently frequently. I could say, oh, it's just because I'm on Instagram and stuff, and that's like part of my business, or YouTube and social media. But no, obviously I'm screwing off and I'm on my phone, and it's easy because there's no boss looking over your shoulder telling you what not to do and what to do. But I'd say that's like the number one thing, is limit your cell phone use. In the morning, I usually try to make sure that I don't check it, or I check it really quickly and then put it down and then leave it in a different room. I'd say that that's honestly one of the biggest things that I've done recently, where if you leave it in a different room, you kind of forget about it. Then you start working and you get into like a flow and you're good to go for a while. And then you'll notice that if you go in and check on it, then you could get sucked into it. The whole point of like any app on your cell phone is to get you as sucked into it as possible. And you need to be fighting it. I mean, the best way to fight it would be humming out the window, but it might be pretty important. So don't do that. But I'd say that's the number one thing. Just like pay attention to your health. Try to get as much sleep as possible. I remember when I first started in business, I was not sleeping as much, really kind of slacking on my health. And since I've been in Mexico for a while, I've been trying to get back on track on that, sleep like a full 8 hours, actually go to the gym. I went to jujitsu yesterday. I haven't been to jujitsu in like 2 years, and I'm sore as all hell right now. It hurts to walk. But I'd say this, it might sound like common sense, take care of yourself, but it's so easy to not do so, but that a lot of people forget about it. So I'd say that's probably some of the biggest lifestyle changes. And don't party as much. I definitely partied a decent amount when I was in college and like the year after college. But if you're waking up feeling terrible on Sunday or Saturday and then Sunday and then even Monday, you're going into work with like half of a brain barely functioning, like it's not a way to run a business. You know what I mean? Like if 2/7 of the week or 3 out of 7 days of the week, your brain's half functioning, like think about if like 7 days straight, it was great. And then the next 7, you built off of those 7. But if you're getting messed up on the weekends, you're going 4 days straight, then you're losing ground, and then you're like, oh, well, what happened? You need to pick up where you left off, and then you're slowly building as compared to continually building. I'd say that that's probably one of the biggest ways to see large success. And I'm not sure if you party or not, but I'm saying that's one thing I did. Red Max, how to create an eBay stealth account for free. Honestly, I'm not the stealth account guy. I have no idea. Joe Cox, one of our students, is way bigger in the stealth accounts, and I don't know if it's free. He's not going to be free, but I don't know how to do it free. Go into like the Aspkin forums, and you should find a lot of information there. I've been trying Amazon dropshipping in grocery. It's intimidating. You really need 10 grand minimum to start. Just to cover fast sales, I might stop. That's not a bad problem to have. Let's be honest. You can just turn off or mark your items out of stock if you're selling too much or if you don't have enough money to keep up to it. Grocery is an extremely fast selling niche. And I've sold a decent amount of just like food in general on Amazon sells a lot more than you thought it would, or I thought it would. And like, even just like the weirdest things, like bags of flour and like 36 pounds of like tomatoes and canned tomatoes and stuff for like pasta sauce, I'm assuming. Amazon is a wild place and you can make a lot of sales. You just want to make sure that you have enough money and to cover them. And also you want to make sure that you have the right systems in place so that you're not sitting there and, one day realizing that you're way behind in your orders, or there's just your order defect rate went out of whack because you couldn't pay attention to things. Or anything like that. Did anybody notice I'm rocking a mean tan right now? Like, yeah, that's the tannest I've been in a long time. How to open, oh God, I mentioned stealth, and now this is all that we're going to hear, isn't it? How to open eBay stealth and keep stealth working without, I have no idea. I'm not going to answer this question. We're not talking about stealth. I stopped getting views on my Facebook listing after I put on vacation mode due to the freezing weather. Is there a way to kickstart it back? Honestly, you'll probably have to relist those listings or renew them. But again, is it on my Facebook listing or all your listings? Is it plural or is it not plural? If it's just a couple listings, then just relist them and find new items. Again, with Facebook, it's going to be a continual revolving door of you listing items. You having to relist the items. You having to take them down and then relist them, put them out of stock. Relist them. And, most of the time, if it was a hot seller, it will come back, but not all the time. And that's where you need to continually be finding new items. I've also been messing around with that ZDrop application. It's really good compared to, I thought it was a little bit different when I was reading about it at first than what it is. It's a really good software. And I've messaged the guy who owns it, and he's already gotten some new suppliers in there for me and for people that are my students that are using some of the suppliers that I've taught inside of the trainings. So it's definitely gonna be something that I'm gonna be putting out YouTube videos on, updating in depth fully inside of the course, and really just doubling down on that software, because there really is no other software out there for Facebook Marketplace at the moment. And I didn't even realize it had like the auto responses and things like that. It's a very powerful tool. It's very simple. It's powerful for how simple it is, and that's one thing that everybody inside of the course will become an expert at it after I add it in there, and people on YouTube will at least get some idea of what's going on with it. So we got William Kloss. What dollar size results are the Facebook Marketplace students reporting? That's a weird way to word it. I don't know what their sales are. I see a lot of profit. I see a lot of people that are hitting, like, usually have a pending balance if they're doing really well, between like $10,000 to $20,000. Like I had a student, Jake Penny, on. He said he did $42,000 in profit in his first 3 months. But the number one thing you'll realize, and I believe, William, you're in some of the courses as well, that, it's really the people that are doing the best usually stop reporting what they're doing eventually. They're either too busy working on their business or growing their business or starting a new form of business or a new store or something like that. And the majority of the people that are in that course reporting things are either the beginners, with their first biggest sales or their first sale, or here's my first big report. But eventually over time, the people that are doing well, like the student that messaged me with the Mike Huffman with $109,000 in the last 30 days on eBay that I saw today. Like I hadn't heard from him in a long time. Like I knew he was doing well. I had no idea about any of his numbers. And then he just messages me today on Facebook. Like the majority of the students that I see that are doing the best won't talk to me for a long time. And then all of a sudden, oh, here, by the way, this is what I've been working on, like 150,000 wholesale on eBay in the last like 30 days or something like that. I've done a lot of that recently. So it makes me feel great. And the students that are doing it are killing it, absolutely killing it. I can see some of the results, and they are doing very well. Noah says another Noah. Yes, that is true. There is another Noah. It did answer my tax question. Thank you. You're welcome, Braden. For Facebook Marketplace, are you using different IPs for multiple accounts you're selling on? No, but I am logging into different different Google Chrome user accounts. So if you have a user account, what you do if you just log into your Google Chrome account, you'll see in the top right, at least for me, it's like a little picture of my face because that's what my main email is. You can make another user on it. If you click on it and it says add, instead of creating guests, you can add one. I do believe that's as far as Facebook is really tracking that stuff. And I've been fine with it, and there's really been no issues because my personal Facebook account can't even sell with the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace, and the other ones are still fine. And I don't do anything besides, same IP, although I do use a VPN now that I'm here in Mexico, but that's for other reasons. And at that point in time, you should be fine and good to go. Have you found the best time of day to post on Marketplace? Again, I think this is a frivolous question. It really does not matter. If you're worrying about the best time of day to post on Marketplace, I would assume you're making like $100,000 in sales or something where you care about, something that minute or minuscule of a detail. You should be focusing more on what items to sell, getting more items up, finding better suppliers, finding the best suppliers, best types of images to use, best types of titles to use, things like that. But the best time of day, that's never been really a big factor on any platform. And like maybe it plays a slight factor, but again, there's much bigger issues out there. Just post when you got time. Again, most people don't even post enough. So if you have enough time, then post more. Noah says, congrats on 28,000 subs, Tom. You're blowing up. Yes, I am. I don't know what happened. Thank you very much. But I hit the algorithm of some sort on YouTube. I was getting a little down on YouTube, I would say, like halfway through last year because it seemed like it was just like 3 years of growing. And it's almost been 3 years. And it was just so slow. It was hard to even get 1,000 subscribers a month. And then all of a sudden I had a couple of videos blow up and everything has been doing a lot better now. And it's been a consistent like 1,500 subscribers a month for the last 3 to 4 months. So I'm happy with it. Instagram is now the one that's the thorn in my side. I don't even understand what the hell's going on in that application. But one thing I can say about YouTube is that it is a very consistent platform. There's almost never been like a major algorithm change where people talk about the algorithm change on Instagram like every 2 days. It doesn't seem like anything like that has ever really happened on YouTube in the 3 years I've been there. If you show up consistently, you post videos, and you post videos that people want to see, your channel should be doing fine. And I've seen that yours is growing well as well, like a lot faster than it once was back in the day. So it's all about throwing up your videos, being consistent, showing up every day, and that's how you kill it. Do you use ZDrop? What softwares are best for Facebook Marketplace? So I already mentioned that we are. I've been playing around with ZDrop. I'm going to add it into the training. And then inside of the training, we teach how to utilize Zik Analytics, how to utilize SKU Grid, and how to utilize Spot and Paste, all for Facebook Marketplace. By no means are all of them necessary, but they're all going to help out in some way, shape, or form. And we do have a lot of students that are, using all of them and seeing success, specifically ZDrop, SKU Grid, things like that. We got Lazy Abram in the house. How's it going? Lazy Abram, I think I showed up to almost all of them. He beat out Jameson Griffith. Jameson Griffith disappeared the last 2 lives. We got to send out an SOS or a carrier pigeon to find where he went, because that man was the most consistent man ever for for over a year and multiple months, and then he just disappeared. So I don't know what's happening. I'm worried. I'm very worried for the man. But thank you for showing up. We got RJ Martinez asking, best way to find wholesale suppliers. So I have multiple YouTube videos on this. If you just go onto my channel, I'll even give you the permission to get off this live right now and go check my videos on how to find wholesale suppliers, because me explaining it on this live will do zero justice compared to the videos that I've put out within the last 6 months, where I believe there's at least 2, maybe even 3 on how to find wholesale suppliers. So I'm going to leave you with that one, because I believe in your ability, RJ, and I don't want you to waste your time listening to me on a live when I have many videos, maybe even over an hour worth of videos for free on my YouTube channel, and you can go check them out. Jose says, what is the best category to sell on Facebook Marketplace? Again, this is a very just opinion-based question. There's no best category. That's like asking the best supplier, or what's the best profit margin, or what's the best platform to sell on. There's no real answer to it. There's a lot of there's a lot of categories that are good. There's the home and garden type categories, the kitchen and bath type categories. Anything outdoor seems to be selling well, tools, things like that. But I can't say, there's been people that I've found out what they're selling, whether they tell me or I hear from somebody else what they're selling. I'm like, I would have never, ever thought of that. Or they have one specific niche on Facebook Marketplace they're selling. And there's some that I would have never thought of. So I can't say that there's a best anything. There's no best. The best is what you find works for you. And that when you find out that it's doing well, you double down on it and you find either more suppliers or just more items in that one specific niche. And you just try your heart out to make as much money as possible moving forward. So Jesus says, can you wholesale dropship on Facebook Marketplace? I don't see why not. It's the same thing. There's really no software that's automating this stuff yet. There's no software that's automating this stuff. So there's no auto listers. There's no auto really anything. So you can use whatever the hell you want. It's the same thing as listing your old stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You're just listing dropshipping items on there. So you can use whatever supplier you want. It's up to you to find a way to track it, whether that's through SKU Grid or whether that's just manually you doing it, or maybe your wholesale supplier almost never goes out of stock, so you don't have to worry about the stock or the pricing or anything like that. Then you're fine in that right as well. So I don't see any reason not to wholesale dropship on Facebook Marketplace. I know we have students that are doing it. I've done it myself, and there's nothing telling you can't do such a thing. Where are we? Okay. We got Tiffany Hayes in here. Hey, how's it going, Tiffany? Thanks for showing up. Braden says, Facebook keeps disabling shipping on my accounts because of all the IP addresses coming in from my VAs. I put them on VPNs, but that didn't work. I put them on a physical server, but that slows them. If that's really what's happening with your VAs, which we've heard different stories from multiple different people like that, then, you might want to look into possibly the Google Cloud platform, like I've said. But, I've had VAs logging into my accounts. I've logged in to my mom's account, other people's account from Mexico. I haven't had any issues, no bans, no anything like that. So there might be a bigger issue here, or I have no idea. Again, I'm not 100% techie. I know as much about the internet and the way things work with IPs and things like that as I need to, but it's really not in my blood. I'll tell you that. I no longer have the option to create my own shipping label after a sale. When I listed the item, I choose create my own shipping label after the sale. The only option is for Facebook to create the label. I've never heard of that issue. To create my own after this is, I don't know. How is that a thing? You might not have actually connected your bank account and everything that you need to, or set up shipping properly, because I've never heard of that happening to anybody. I still have that ability on every account. I'd contact Facebook, open up a case. Again, there's a lot of one-off things with with Facebook that happen to you, or maybe me or somebody else, that do not happen to everybody else. Facebook is definitely one of the most out there platforms in random things happening. Then, that just really doesn't make sense. If I'm in a different country, should I use VPN when listing? When one thing I've noticed since I'm in Mexico right now is that it pisses me off when I go on eBay and everything's in like Mexican pesos and everything's in like sometimes in Spanish and stuff. I mean, it doesn't piss me off. I just don't understand it. So, I mean, that's why I use a VPN. It's really up to you if that's what you want to do. But that's pretty much why I do it. Should we avoid Walmart brands? Again, I need to know what platform you guys are talking about, because that really does decide how I answer the question properly. So should you avoid Walmart brands? It really depends. I've talked more about how you shouldn't be using Walmart on eBay, and also the person that sent me the message that they hit $109,000 in the last 30 days on eBay today said that the account's only Walmart. So use Walmart. If you want to use Walmart, use it. Just know that everybody else is using it too. You're going to be competing with the likes of everybody else. What's the average incomes have you seen out there? I don't know what that really means. For me or for other people, I mean, it varies. It varies wildly across how everybody's doing with their store, or what they're doing, or how much they're selling, or how much they're outsourcing. I'm not really. There's no way to answer that question. Can you do Facebook Marketplace USA living in another country? I'm thinking to spend a couple months in Europe. If you already have it, then you should be fine. Like if you're in the US and you have the shipping option, everything like that, you should be fine. I've had no issues being in another country as well. But if you're in another country and your account doesn't really have the option for the shipping option, then it's not going to work very well. There are some students that are trying to do it. I'm not sure how many have been successful, but if you already have it and everything, and you're just like spending a couple months there, that's when I would suggest possibly, if you need to, sending yourself in with a VPN. But again, even then, without the VPN, I was fine. And the only real reason I do it is so that things just show up in English all the time. Although I have been trying to learn a little bit of Spanish. It does help if it's in my native language. Can't you have more than one wife if you're Mormon? I'm down. No, I believe polygamy was considered not allowed, but they might still be into it. Who knows? On Facebook Marketplace, when listing, do you fill in the brand name? I almost never fill in the brand name. No. People do ask a lot. So you might want a auto reply for that, or, just what you can put in a ZDrop, or just something that you say, to kind of deflect the question, or just put in the brand name. It doesn't truly matter. It's going to be more honest if you do put in the brand name, because if somebody asks you what's the brand name, and then you say, oh, like it's not branded or something like that, and then it shows up, like that's going to be the person that's going to complain. If anybody's going to fucking complain, it's going to be that person. You didn't say it was a brand, and then it's this brand, and I found it on Walmart or anything like that. If somebody's asking you right off the bat what the brand is, they're most likely going to be the Karen that complains later on down the road. And would it be smart to put your items on Shopify as well? If you want to, but with Shopify, how are you going to get the traffic to you? Are you going to run ads to your Shopify store, or are you just going to expect that people want to buy your Walmart items on Shopify? Because I highly doubt that they do, or they probably won't ever find you. So it's kind of, it's really where you're at with it. Doesn't really even make sense. Is it worthwhile or anything with that? All right, so we're about halfway through right now. Be sure to smash that like button. Let's get this out to as many people as possible. The 2 people that downvoted it never show up to my live again. If I find out who you are, you're getting blocked forever. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Zeus says, what's a good startup capital to start with as a beginner on Facebook Marketplace? So it's really up to you. Like as long as you sell as much as you have, then that's pretty much all that you need to worry about. Like if you only have $500, then only sell like $500 worth of stuff that you're purchasing, and you should be fine. At that point in time, you can either pause your listings, put on vacation mode, take off, put everything out of stock or anything like that, and you should be good to go. It really just depends on it. If you only have $500, then sell lower priced items so you can try to make more profit that way, or try to recoup your money back faster or anything like that. It doesn't really matter, especially with Facebook Marketplace. You don't really need to be using any software when you first get started, although, it definitely helps. Like Facebook is probably the one where you don't really need any software. It just takes a little bit more work. EJ says, LOL, this dude is still shilling dropshipping. EJ's also probably someone that doesn't make any money and lives in his parents' basement. If I am in a different country, should I use a VPN to list on Facebook? Again, it doesn't truly matter from what I've seen, also being in a different country. I started the beginning of January. I'm averaging 25 to 30% average sales per day, about 15, almost got 20 last night. See, Chris De Silva is the person that I've never heard of, and that's not a bad thing, that is out there killing it, so making 15 to 20 sales last night and almost 20 last night at 25 to 30% average profit margin. I'm assuming that's Facebook Marketplace, so congrats to Chris. Try to emulate what Chris is doing, because he seems to be following what we're teaching and doing very well with it. So where should I go for tax advice? I searched this up and down. There's little information related to Facebook Marketplace taxes. There is almost no information on Facebook Marketplace taxes. Again, you just contact a CPA. If you get a 1099, you get a 1099. If you don't, you don't. It really depends on how much you're selling. And, as time moves on, they're doing all the sales tax stuff for you. And there's not even an option for you to be able to deal with the sales tax. So don't worry about that. That's what I'm suggesting. I'm not a tax professional. Again, you want to call someone that's a tax professional. You're not going to find somebody on the internet that says, I'm an expert at Facebook Marketplace taxes or dropshipping taxes. That's not a thing at the moment, and it's not going to continue to be a thing for a while. I can guarantee you that. So just find somebody that's professional. There's a lot of things in the tax world that don't make sense, because the internet moves way faster than the tax laws or government will ever do. So at that point in time, usually all this ends up being an educated guess anyways. Let's be honest about it. The tax code is so damn old, and the internet changes every 2 seconds. There's no way that they can keep up. Eventually it just needs to be all right, this is what we truly think. And, that's pretty much how it is. How do you find profitable products on Amazon that will sell quickly on Facebook Marketplace? Find an item that is selling well and list it for a profit. We teach it inside of the trainings, which are 40% off until the end of tonight, which was supposed to end at the beginning of this week, but I realized we didn't really mention it at all. I mentioned on the last live, so check it out. It's in the description down below. There's tons of students with the Facebook Marketplace course specifically that have made tons of money since this course has launched, and there's been endless success stories. It's been by far the most successful training that we've had for the beginners that really don't know anything about dropshipping and making money, maybe the same day, the next day, the same week. Who knows? We've had students make $400, $300 their first night in profit listing items. There's been a lot of crazy stories with it, but there are people that are absolutely killing it. And all it really takes is to take action and start listing items, whether they're, like the best sellers, anything that you think is going to sell, or things that are selling well on other platforms. Use those as, a bit of inspiration and go from there. Thank you. How can drop ship on Facebook Marketplace without shipping option? You're going to have to list the items up without the shipping option and hope that they sell. So how can I learn to hire VAs and managing them? We have a training on that. If not, watch videos. It's really all about, just finding the right websites, finding the right people to work for you, and, building a team yourself. You're the one that's really in charge, and it should be more, second nature. But there are ways to train them better. There's specific softwares, but on a live that's only an hour long, I could talk for about, 10 hours about something like that. So, we do have a training on it. YouTube stuff, use Slack, use some form of project management tool like Monday.com or Asana or ClickUp is one of the newer ones that we've been testing out for a while now. Anything like that's going to streamline your business a lot better. Best software to reprice on Facebook Marketplace. There's really no repricers on Facebook Marketplace at the moment. We have been utilizing SKU in one way that we teach inside of the training. But again, there's nothing that will really automatically do it for you at the moment that I know of. So, you really want to be, it's pretty manual. So you want to make sure that either your listings aren't changing that much, or somebody is in there actually taking, pretty good notes or paying attention to it pretty well about what's going on. So where are we? We got about 20 minutes left. So I'm going to keep going here. How to open an eBay Stealth account and keep Stealth. I already said I'm not going to answer any more questions about Stealth. I don't know any answers about this. And that's where I'm going to leave it. Do you do Walmart dropshipping? So I've been saying for a while now I have a Walmart account, and I have been trying to get set up on what's called FlexPoint for eBay wholesale dropshipping, another wholesale account that I've been trying to get up and running. And what FlexPoint's supposed to be doing is where it connects all of your suppliers to all your different platforms and everything like that. And it's like the big multi-channel selling tool. And I was complaining the past like couple months about how my rep trying to onboard me onto the software really wasn't the best. And I really wasn't getting anywhere with it. And come to find out, he got fired last week. So makes sense. So that was the main reason why I held off from getting started onto Walmart, because I wanted to start off on the right foot. But I wanted to make sure the software worked on eBay first, so then I could then push it all to Walmart and everything would be fine. So that's what's holding me back at the moment. And hopefully now that I have a new rep, this will be going a lot faster, because the other rep did not do anything and he was a terrible worker in general. How much work per day, per week have you found that gives the best results? I'm cranking out 12 hours a day and getting diminishing results. I mean, again, when I first started in anything, drop shipping or any form of online business, like I was doing 12, 14-hour days, and you might accomplish very little, or what you think is very little that day. But eventually, as you keep going, I'd say I probably did 12-hour days for pretty much like the first year that I was in business. And then eventually, you start getting more and more breakthroughs. Nowadays, like I don't work even a fraction as much as I used to a month or a week compared to what I used to, but everything's so well outsourced now. But you need to get to the point where you deeply, intrinsically understand everything that's happening. Like if I started a new eBay store tomorrow and I could find items to list that would make sales that day, that night, the next day on that store, like I have no doubt in my mind that I could do that. And I'm very confident in my ability to do that. That's where you need to get to in learning this stuff. But when you first get started, I got sidetracked by every different software in the world that looked nice and shiny and cool. And, oh, Jason, we got to try this one, or telling Jason, oh, we got to try this one. Like literally every software. I'm at the point now where I haven't changed the software that I'm using, and all the ones that I teach inside of my training, I haven't changed those softwares in like 2 years. Like once you get to a certain point, you get to the point where you're like, this is what works for me, and I will only now just replicate this system, and it will go from here. So, in the beginning, you really don't know what the hell you're doing. Even if you follow a course, you're still going to not know what the hell you're doing until you get in there and you start working on it. I don't know how long you've been doing this stuff, Braden, but if it's been like 2-3 years at 12 hours a day, I'd say you should probably revisit what you're doing and maybe make some tweaks. But, if it's been a couple months, just keep grinding it out, and I can guarantee you that you will see the success. And that's great work ethic. Most people say I put in 12 minutes today. Where the hell are my results? The fact that you're putting in 12 hours shows great work ethic. You just need to make sure it's pointed in the right direction. Noah said, had a lot of success in January. I got my account shut down at the end of January for about 5 days, and I've been struggling to get back consistent sales since. I mean, it's all about if you're trying to list the same items or trying to think that those same items are going to sell, then, that's not going to really work. We've had multiple students I know that have gotten their accounts taken down, and then they got them back. And then, it's kind of like starting back over from zero. But everybody that I've heard, has actually gotten their account back up and running with the proper, amount of just effort. Besides Facebook Marketplace, which beginner-friendly platform do you recommend? I mean, Facebook Marketplace is by far the most beginner-friendly, but I would say, look into eBay as well. I haven't really tested out any of the smaller like Etsy or things like that. I haven't really tested that out. Those are things that I do plan on easing my way into and just testing the waters on. But Facebook Marketplace, then I'd say eBay. Miranda says, what made you decide to move to Mexico? It's warm. There's much less restrictions on everything, including movement and the ability for things to be open. And there's a large entrepreneur community down here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Like I went to the gym the other day, and legitimately every single person there owns an online business or works online or remotely for their company. But the majority are online entrepreneurs. Lots of e-commerce people down here, lots of like-minded individuals. It's warm. Again, it's not snowing like Boston is. It's cheaper. I could probably live a full, eating out twice a day and not cooking and paying for my apartment here that I just got a 1-month lease on, or a lease, or whatever a lease is considered in Mexico, because I didn't sign a single piece of paperwork. And I could probably eat out twice a day and do whatever the hell I want and have as much fun as possible, all for under the price of what my rent was in Boston. Things are open again, it's pretty much like regular life. And before anybody starts complaining about I'm not, just not following what's happening in the United States, then I'm running away from it. Yes, that's true. Where are we? Where to start with dropshipping? Start with watching my YouTube channel. Now it's not ZDrop, it's ZDrop. Z as in zebra, EE as in elephant, drop. ZEE drop. After a few sales, I no longer have the option to create my own shipping label after a sale. When I list, okay, you've already asked this one, Alonzo. I don't know the answer to that one. How do you organize your VAs for your tasks and your businesses? I mean, this is all up to you and how you feel about running your business. Like what works for me isn't going to work for you. Like you can give them a task list. You can give them some form of project management software. You can give them daily things that they need to do where they report to you that they did this every single day, or they give you a report like, oh, you need to list this many items, and they give you a report of all of the items that they listed or something like that. I mean, it's really up to you to decide how you want to go about it. I do a lot of having my VAs give me reports, and a lot of everything is inside of some form of project management software, whether we're working towards a new project or, it's just a continual task that you need to be doing every single week. That's pretty much how we do everything. Can I use family members' accounts still on Facebook Marketplace? You can, yes. That is exactly what I'm doing, considering I'm not allowed to sell on my own profile. Ecom Tomcat says that there's 59 people watching. I think it says 52 right now. Please smash that like button. Smash it for Ecom Tomcat and for me, the Ecom Tom, not Cat. And let's get this out to as many people as possible. Let's get 50 likes on it before I get off for the night. We got 14-ish, 15 minutes left. Let's finish this up. I'm going to try to go through the questions a little bit faster. There's a decent amount left, not too many. So have you tested listings with free shipping versus listings that have paid shipping and reduced prices? Which ones sell better in your opinion? So I've experimented with it a bit. It definitely does seem like just reducing your prices and having shipping as a cost does actually work towards, making more sales. I don't have like 100% conclusive data on it, but a lot of students and other people as well have said the same exact thing. So, you might as well test it out yourself. Again, don't wait for me to try to tell you what's right and what's not right. It's really up to you to do your own test. This is why the number one thing, like I went to school for like science, where you're running your own experiments and things like that. You never want to wait for your boss. If you think that something's going to work, right? Then, you're in the lab and you think something's going to work. You're not going to wait for your boss to say, oh, well, Tom, maybe you should do this or whatever. If you think it's going to work, like right in the moment, you go and do that experiment yourself, or you go and test it, and then you bring it back to your boss. Or so if you went and tested it and then say, hey, Tom, I tested this and this works well on the live, that's, if you had the thought beforehand, then you had the time to go out and actually test it yourself. And, it might sound harsh, but like it's more about, I want you to be thinking, as if this is your own business and not waiting for me to say what I think, on once a week for an hour on a Friday night. Jesus says, do you follow Paul J. Lipsky? Y'all should collaborate on a video. I don't think we're ever going to collaborate a video. We talk to each other. We are acquaintances. I have nothing against the man, but I mean, if we were to consider people competition, I'd say that we are both each other's number one competitor, even though Paul is by far the best competitor you'll ever have. Like, never talks bad. I don't talk bad about him. And, that's how it is. Way less drama than other YouTube things that I've seen happen in the past 3 years. And, I have nothing but respect for the man, but I don't think we're ever going to do a YouTube video together. Maybe we could one day, but it's nothing I'm planning on really, or nothing that's in the works. Hillary says, good vibes. Thanks. I'm not sure what that's in regard to. About Facebook Marketplace, best product niches to list. We went over this. Does Tom answer questions from the chat? I've answered every single question from the chat. What? I don't even know how to go about that one. Yes, he does. Do products with pictures with white background sell better than products that show the product in a living setting? Again, that is definitely very much up for debate. I even posted a poll about that in our course group and on Facebook, and it's pretty much split right down the middle, I would say. It seems as if people are seeing success in both different facets of it. And I've also seen the same, where it's, some sell without it, some sell with it. It really is up to, whether the Facebook gods want to send that listing into the algorithm, or the listing spree where you get 1,000 1,000 different views in like the first hour or whatever, compared to one that gets like 10 in the first 2 weeks. Joe Cox is here. How's it going? I mentioned you a few times. I feel like other people mentioned you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Following Tim Ferriss advice, I read his book, The 4-Hour Work Week, and that's all I've read. So RJ Martinez gave me $2. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have about 5K views and 36 saves on an item, but no sales. Yes. What do you suggest? At that point in time, like I'd probably try to lower the price a little bit and just see if it sells, because like the other day I even had one item that had legitimately, I think it was 11,000 views in the last 14 days and it did not have a sale. And then I lowered it to, a little bit under the 30% threshold that I say, but I just wanted to see like at what point would it start selling. And then at around 22% profit after fees, it sold like 4 times in the next couple days. So it really does seem as if it is a price related thing at that point. If you have that many views, then it's really going to be more price related than anything else, because there's really not anything else that could change at that point on Facebook Marketplace. If you have that many views, then that means it's a good item. It has good pictures or good description and good title. It has everything people are looking for. The really only thing at that point is price. So from there, I would try to lower it. Don't lower it drastically. Lower it like if it's $100 item, lower it like $5. Wait a day or two, see what works. Lower another $5. Go from there. Where are you living now? I heard you saying Mexico. No, I'm living in Mexico. Yes, I'm in Playa del Carmen. I've been here for over a month now. It's awesome. It's much better than living in Boston, and I don't foresee myself wanting to go back. How long can I sail without a laptop? I don't know. I suggest getting a laptop. They have like Google Chromebooks for like $250. That's cheaper than like almost any cell phone out there on the market. I highly suggest doing that. All right, finishing up here. Let's try to get 50 likes. It doesn't seem like there's that many likes on this video, but let's try to get 50 likes on this one. Before I get off, I'm gonna answer every single question. And let's finish this one up. Is it okay to put the same tax info on multiple accounts on Facebook? I've never done it. I don't want to tell you that it's right or wrong. I believe I've heard of people doing it, but again, I don't want to say that that's right, that's not right, or something like that. I'm not sure. I've done it across multiple different tax informations across multiple different Facebook accounts, but I don't want to say that you can or you can't, because I don't want to mislead you on that one. Thanks, man. I just seen the video about finding wholesale suppliers. I must have missed it. There you go. There's more than one too, RJ. Thank you for the $2 as well. There's more than one. There's at least 3. Some are definitely a little bit older, but the methods have not changed since those videos have come out. So just watch them all, and I think that you'll learn a lot more from that. Tom, do you do high ticket dropshipping on eBay or Amazon? I don't know what you mean by high ticket. I'd say that I have items that sell decently frequently at like $400, $500, $600 on eBay and Amazon. But like if you're talking like thousands and thousands, no, I don't really do any of that. It's not that I'm against it. It's more just like I never really got into it, and I haven't really just bothered to find items that I want to sell at that price. But I'm not sure. You definitely can. I mean, if you have the money and you don't, I feel like a lot of people are afraid about it because, what if I don't have any, or you only have like $3,000, you sell $3,000 item, somehow something gets screwed up, you lose the money or whatever. But if you have a lot of money, or like I know you're killing it, Albert, with like the sales on Facebook, so you have like a little bit extra guap left behind, I could imagine. Where you might want to experiment, maybe go up to $1,000, couple thousand, $1,500, and then go from there. On eBay, should we cancel orders for out of stock, especially when the buyer does not respond now that Tracker Jack is not available? It really depends. I wouldn't be going wildly canceling orders, but look into Shipper Bay. Tracker Jack did die. I need to update the videos. UPS changed their ruling, I believe, and that's why. Or their API. That's why it died. But you should really be trying to mitigate the fact that the item goes out of stock, or that you're selling items that go out of stock. And then from there, obviously, yeah, you might have to cancel it, but try everything in your power not to cancel it. Hey, for Facebook Marketplace, have you tested listings with free shit? Okay, we answered this one. For anyone that's watching this right now, if I haven't gotten to your question yet, it's because it takes me a while to get through all of them. So if you just type it twice, then it's not gonna do anything. What are the best products to sell on Facebook Marketplace? We've answered this question about 3 times. There is no best items to sell. Do you have a girlfriend? Work-life balance seems difficult. I do not have a girlfriend. I've had girlfriends in the past. I like to have sometimes a few girlfriends or girls, but no, I mean, yeah, there's work-life balance. There's also I like to kind of go my own way. It's kind of hard to find somebody that, works for themselves and travels and moves to Mexico on the whim within literally a couple days, a notice, moves out of their apartment, sticks everything in a form of storage, aka my parents' basement, and then just flies to Mexico the next couple of days and stays there for who knows how long, and who knows where I'm going to go after. I plan on going to Costa Rica, staying there, and then flying back so I can reset my tourist visa in Mexico. So, it's kind of hard finding someone that's living a lifestyle like that, and I completely understand at this point in time. Good evening. I am from Florida. Thank you very much, Kevin, for showing up. I appreciate it. Jose says, thank you, Tom. How can you actually get the shipping option on Facebook Marketplace? If you're in the United States, you most likely already have it. If not, we teach just start listing items around your house, other items. It will most likely pop up eventually at that point in time. Can I take payments with Facebook Pay on Marketplace instead of choosing the shipping option? Just have them pay me up front. If so, is there a script? So I wouldn't do this. If you have the ability to have the shipping option and you're going through Facebook Pay, you have to realize you're screwing them out of percentages of their items. That's the same thing as saying if I have my PayPal connected to eBay, or if I have my items on eBay, can I, send them my PayPal email through Messenger and facilitate the sale that way so I can save on eBay fees? Clearly the platform does not like that. So, if you have the shipping option, then just take the 5% fees. Trust me, it will be better in the long run. What's the fastest way to find good products to sell on Facebook Marketplace? Follow the ways that I find items on eBay for eBay dropshipping, and that's pretty much the same exact way. TBA tracking number, what to do? I don't know what platform you're talking about, and I have no idea. So we're at that. We are one away from 50 likes. I didn't think we'd be able to do it on this live. I'm sure people have realized that I haven't really gone out of my way to advertise these. So if you're on here and you actually want to ask questions, you're going to get a lot more out of it than when I advertise and have 130 people on, because we had 130 people on last live. And honestly, I got so overwhelmed, I didn't even know what the hell to do. Or 2 lives ago, the one with Jake Penny. And I legitimately had so many questions that I had to start skipping them. Now, this was a great balance of questions and time on here. And people, it was much more manageable. At 130, I skipped legitimately 100 plus questions. It is what it is. Jess Wells says, N, thank you. What do you do when your drop shipper who is also local in your customer's area and delivered item from their store? No tracking them. You're talking about Walmart, non-approved items. There's really not much you can do at that point in time. That's why telling with people that are selling, or when Walmart's selling items through DoorDash and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you're not selling the smaller items from Walmart. And also I do believe that somebody in the group did post that you can contact Walmart and say that you don't want any of your items sold through DoorDash now. And then eventually that will be a function that you can do so that, you always get a tracking number on it. Is it good to have a specific set of items, like a niche, or try selling everything you will think will make you a profit, like a store? It really depends. With Facebook Marketplace specifically, we've seen majority of the people will start listing a lot of different items. And then from there, they will, eventually realize that a specific type of item or niche of item sells better. And then usually they'll go down that rabbit hole and see if it, continues to be good. And then if not, then just finding other items. It doesn't truly matter. It's really up to what works for you. Gary Wise says, dude, you're nuts living in Mexico, level 3 travel advisory because of crime, kidnapping, cartels. I mean, I'm living the most touristy part of Mexico right now. I really think it depends. I mean, I'd say people living in Chicago are nuts for living there and with all the murders that are going on. It really depends on where you're living. It's level 3. I traveled to Nicaragua, which was level 4. And honestly, I've never felt safer. They looked at me like I was, I don't know. They were like, who the hell is this kid? Why is there a white kid here? But it was awesome. Honestly, I had the best time ever. Great live chat. You're welcome. Thank you very much. I want to make 10K per month with Facebook Marketplace. Can 10 to 15 items per day make that happen? Again, Emmanuel, that's a very arbitrary question. You could list 10 to 15 of literally the worst items a day ever, and never make any sales, or you could list 10 to 15 amazing items and make, $10,000 profit and with a couple days worth of work. It's pretty much impossible to be able to answer a question like that. Those questions have never been possible to answer, and it's it doesn't really make sense. Have you used TransferWise to pay? I've looked into TransferWise actually, but no, I have not. We stopped using Payoneer, I believe. No, we use it for like one VA. I just think Payoneer is like the most unprofessional looking like payments. Just their website is terrible. The internals look terrible. We've stuck to PayPal. We have started using for tracking our VAs, Hubstaff, which seems to be a little bit more in depth than the Top Tracker or other form of virtual assistant tracking software. Hubstaff has definitely seemed to be the best so far, and it's fairly cheap. I think it's $10 per employee. Where are we? Yep, TransferWise. Albert, I use TransferWise, definitely the best way to go. Yeah, so that is one that I did look into, but I haven't gotten there yet. What do you set the quantity to on Facebook? It doesn't really matter. It is what it is. As long as you can set it. If you set it to like 99, there's really no point because it will most likely stop selling, at some point in time, then like a month to like 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. It'll most likely stop selling. So there's really no point in putting 100 or whatever. It doesn't really matter though. If it's over, just don't put it at like 2, because if the listing's doing well and then it sells out at 2, then you're like, oh, wow. 10, 15, 20, 25, it truly does not matter. Albert says Mexico is not bad if you know where you're going to stay in the safe areas. Yeah, it's with traveling anywhere. Mexico does have like the top 5 highest murder rate cities in the world, but they're also all on the border with the United States, most of them. And if you look, Playa del Carmen is rather safe, and the cops are a little corrupt. I will tell you that. The cops definitely are a little corrupt. But besides that, there's so many tourists down here. It's pretty mind-blowing. 9 Facebook Marketplace sales from the same winning product with 77% profit. 8 delivered, but 1 not received. Walmart said that it was due to poor weather conditions, but it's been like that for 3 days. What do you think? So first off, those are a great amount of sales, and that's a massive profit margin, so good job on that. Hopefully it was a higher priced item, but it seems like it might be a smaller item. But, just if it's due to poor weather conditions, Walmart will eventually refund you for it if it just disappears. And at that point in time, you will just most likely have to refund the customer or cancel the order, and then you should be fine from there. Tom, have you tried putting EIN with Facebook Marketplace? I put mine, but structured the SSN, like 000. No, I have no idea. I believe Albert tried the same thing. It didn't work for him. It doesn't ask for an EIN. It asks for a social security number. So although people do think that it will work, I do not believe it does. Or maybe it will at the end of the year, or you could like write somebody or anything like that. It's nothing that really makes sense at the moment. Talking about eBay stealth accounts. Nope, not talking about eBay stealth accounts. Hey guys, looks like I got shadow banned. Does that mean I'm done for this business? I didn't even get started. That nobody knows what that means. So that's about it for this live, I believe. If you have any questions, ask your last questions here. But this chat, it looks like you got shadow banned. I don't even know what you're in reference to. So last thing I was going to say is, like I said, the sale is for 40% off the course. It's down below in the description. Courses, any course out there. It ends tonight. I just wanted to make sure we went on the live. Let people know one more time. I didn't really talk about it on Instagram, so that's kind of the main reason why we extended it. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram. It's going to be where you can actually talk to me. And just be sure to smash that like button one last time. Let's try to get 55, maybe 60 likes. Let's get 60 likes. And I'll answer the last ones here. It says, ask for social security number or tax identification number. A TIN can mean it's just a federal, they just suck at explaining. Yeah, that is true. But I took TIN as an ITIN, but honestly, I have no clue. So try to contact them and see. Honestly, I just didn't do it. If you're new to selling Facebook Marketplace, how long does it take to get the shipping option? You should have it if you're in the United States. If not, like I've said, just list items up from around your house. It will most likely, show up pretty quickly. Any idea how much percentage of tax you're supposed to pay if you sell on marketplace. That doesn't even make sense. You report your profits and you get taxed based off of your tax bracket that you are in. About buying on Facebook Marketplace accounts, I don't know anything about buying it. I bought one and it was actually in Mexico. It was a Mexican account, which now, I mean, I can make as many of those as possible. Pete says, dude, living his best life in Mexico. One thing you guys need to realize is that if you have a remote job right now, you're literally losing money not living in Mexico. Let's be honest. If you make, say, $60,000 a year living in the United States, and like maybe you're single or whatever, you want to move your family. I've seen plenty of families that have moved here, like full families. Like if you're living in the United States, you're losing money working an online job. Say everything's remote. You don't ever have to go in the office again because of COVID. Like you are losing money not being in a country where your dollar goes further. Like in Mexico, my rent here is like $1,200 a month, where in Boston, it was almost $3,000 a month for rent. And this place is nicer here, honestly, than in Boston. Like the food is cheaper. Everything is cheaper minus like beer. Like literally everything's cheaper. And if there's a bunch of tax cuts that if you don't live in the United States for almost like 330 days out of the year, out of 365, then you get a ton of tax cuts to the point where you're living for literally free if you live in another country compared to living in the United States. So most people think that traveling and living in another country is more expensive somehow, but it's legitimately cheaper and you're losing money not doing it. So if I can convince, or not convince, I don't want to convince anybody, but if I could inspire somebody to change their thinking about the way that you live your life, that you need to be locked down in Boston or in the cold in New York City, is getting snowed in Chicago and snowboarding down the middle of the street or whatever. Like if you could do that, like if you don't want to do that, like you don't have to. And if I could inspire like a couple, 1, 2, however many people that want to like actually think about like leaving that and moving somewhere else on their own and realizing that it's much cheaper to live somewhere else on their own, I'd consider my work. I would consider that a good job. So I have enough followers. I'm assuming I might inspire 1 or 2. Albert says, would you incorporate your business in Mexico down the line? Probably not. I would most likely keep it in the United States, but I haven't looked too deep into it because I don't know where the hell I'm going to be. So that's that. If you have any questions about anything like that, send me a DM. And be sure to smash that like button. 40% off till the end of the night. That's about it. I just moved to Colombia right here. Braden says, I just moved to Colombia because I passed 100K in sales on my Facebook Marketplace business. If anyone's thinking about it, definitely do it. There you go. Like I've looked into Colombia, although it seemed as if their rule, they opened up, they shut down, they opened up, they shut down. I know one person here in Mexico where I am right now. So, I followed where he is. Might go to Costa Rica next. Honestly, Nicaragua is looking really good. San Juan del Sur. But it's like, look at this tan. Like, come on. No, but it's awesome. If anybody has any questions, be sure to don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you very much. I'm going to get off for the night. Have a great Friday night, and I will see you next weekend.